Meh. My monkey makes mean mashed potato. What? We're hi. Uh, sorry about that. Um, just just preparing a little bit. Vocal exercises. It's good for the throat. Hello. It's your boy. It's the panda bringing you the week review. Um, and once again, before I get into the review, just a little bit of information here. Don't worry, I'm not going to be scolding anybody, although Dream Team did have a rule violation, which led to him losing 14 points for his tight end position. Um, but that's besides the point. Really, this is primarily um, an appreciation rant, I guess, primarily. Um, so, half of you um, that are watching this don't know me outside of fantasy football. And obviously the same goes for me to you guys. But I'm a pretty closed off person by choice. I have my family interactions, which are my favorite interactions in the entire universe. I happen to have a fantastically amazing, beautiful family. Um, and then I have my work interactions, which are my work friends, um, and then bosses, customers, stuff like that. I am an electrician, um, so I do a lot of interacting in my everyday life, which leads me to being pretty closed off outside of that. So I fill my free time with things that I personally love to do. I play a lot of video games, obviously, a lot of single player offline type video games. I'll occasionally play shooters online, which, by the way, if anybody has a PlayStation or if they play Call of Duty, feel free to email me or hit me up with a gamer tag. And, I'm always willing to get online and play with people. Um, I'm not going to tell you I'm a world beater or anything, but I do enjoy it. I also listen to a lot of strange music, watch a lot of anime, um, and I do a lot of sports, a lot of college sports. I'm actually primarily a college sports guy. I love college football, big Kansas State University fan. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this in previous league reviews, but it never hurts to remind people. Kansas State University. Um, but through fantasy football, I've become more of an NFL fan. I pay attention to players far more than I pay attention to teams. Um, but anywho, uh, as a result of my closed offness, fantasy football, specifically this league, is a primary source of interaction with people by choice for me. And so, special shout out to guys like Caitlyn Jenner's fan club. We talk a lot of smack between each other to the point where sometimes I wonder if you really do hate me. But I choose to believe it's all out of love because it's all out of love on my end. I literally don't know you at all. I don't know what you look like. I don't know what you sound like. Uh, to be honest, I really don't even know your name, even though it's on the league site. And then Blue Team. Blue Team is one of the best traders that I've ever been around. They talk, they interact, they compromise. It's awesome. So the two of you that operate Blue Team, you guys are awesome, and I really appreciate you. And I really hope that eventually you two decide to separate into two separate owners. I would give up one of my slots to one of the two of you. Um, because you two as a pair are awesome, and I wonder what you guys would be able to do as two individuals. And then obviously Donald Trump, who he doesn't really know this, but Donald Trump is probably one of my most consistent interactions as far as people are concerned, um, like in a whole blanket, like out of everything. I really don't think he knows that. But yeah, in terms of like voluntary communication, Donald Trump is up there. We just recently exchanged actual phone numbers to make communication easier between the two of us, which is a big deal for me because I don't just hand my phone number out to anybody. Um, but it's fantasy football means a lot to me. And so those of you that I've interacted with, both positive and negative, whether it's talking trash or lifting each other up, um, it means a lot to me. It's a big reason why I love this game so much. And the only time I'm ever being seriously not nice is when you guys break the rules or you guys make poor choices, like lazy choices, instead of making tough decisions like trading away a player that you maybe don't want to because you need to get a starter for the week, or dropping a player you don't want to because he's on bye and you need to fill the roster spot. Like things like that drive me nuts because I'm a firm believer that when you commit to something, when you agree to do something, it's 100%. You either give it 100 or you don't do it. And so when people make choices like that, it's very frustrating. And we've literally experienced some form of that every week for going on 8 weeks now. And so it's really frustrating. Um, and then if you looked in the message boards on Thursday at all, that was very real. What I was saying to 22 Dream Team. I don't play favorites, but when I have an owner that has repeatedly reached out to me privately to express their confusion with the league site, and then they make a mistake like the one that he made, I'm gonna do my best to help out. I'm gonna remember, like, hey, this guy's having trouble navigating our site and he's having trouble doing things the right way. I'm going to remember that. But I'm going to reach out and I'm going to help him because he's expressed to me multiple times that he's somebody that needs that help. Whereas 22 Dream Team's been here, he's done this, he's played this game multiple times on this website, and I've defended him when people have expressed extreme frustrations with him. Um, he was universally voted out of the previous league that we played in together. And I went to bat for him. And I convinced Donald Trump, my co commissioner, to allow him into this league, in spite of the fact that in the league we were in previously, he caused so many problems behind the scenes that we universally voted him out. I was not a part of that vote because I have, you know, I have invested interest in him. He is my cousin, literally. Um, so I did not participate in that vote, but literally every other owner that did wanted him gone. And then I came to bat for him, and he's the reason he's been in this league for 2 years. And so for him to tell me that I'm playing favorites, or to agree with Caitlin, who was joking, I'm assuming, when they said that, for him to come through and be like, yeah, you preach it. No, that's bullshit. You know how much I've helped you. You know that you've asked me for advice and that you've reached out to me numerous times for assistance and I've helped you. So, yeah, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. And it hurts me personally to know that you would go out and say that in spite of all the things that I've done for you, both publicly and privately, in terms of fantasy football and really in terms of life in general. So, if anybody's being favorited, it's you. And don't ever forget that. But yeah, I love all of you. I love every single person, whether I know you personally or not, for interacting in this league. And again, it is a primary source of interaction for me for 4 months out of the year. So a third of the year. So it's a big deal and it means a lot. And so I appreciate guys like Dream Team. Well, get out of my head. I appreciate guys like Blue Team and Caitlyn Jenner and Donald Trump and even foosball, for as intense and ridiculous as he can be at times and how politically motivated he seems to be. Um, I appreciate that you guys are active and involved on the message boards. And for those of you that aren't, please do. Um, but anyway, on to the review. I rambled for longer than I wanted, but basically, Caitlyn Jenner beat me. I needed to win this week, or I needed Dream Team to lose. Dream Team won this week. He beat Foosball in an upset, um, and I lost to Caitlyn Jenner handily. And so, unfortunately, my playoff chances are probably done. Um, but good on Caitlyn. That's 4 out of the last 5 weeks that Caitlyn has been the high scorer of the week. Sandwiched in between the two, or is sandwiched in between the four, is one low score of the week, though. So it's possible. Um, and then you had Bison going up against the Anal Blazers, who kicked Joe Crutel's ass a few weeks back. Bison took care of business, kept it a little closer than he wanted to, but he pulled out the victory. Good for him. And then speaking of Joe Crutel, who lost to the one-win team in the league, pulls out the major upset and beats Spencer Strasmore, formerly the Silent Assassin. I think it's time we change that. Um, so good on Joe Crutel getting the upset. And then you had Nailbender scoring the most points he has all season long against Donald Trump, um, probably knocking Donald Trump out of the playoff running. So everybody give him a round of applause. The chances of us getting a repeat champion are almost zero, basically zero. Um, and then to finish it out, you had Blue Team losing to King Turd. I personally thought King Turd had phoned it in this season. I thought he had given up. He had a couple weeks where he had illegal rosters, where he started players that weren't playing, and I legitimately thought he had pieced out. And out of nowhere, he beats Blue Team, um, which Blue Team really needed a victory this week. So it was crazy this week outside of Caitlyn Jenner and Bison. Every other favorited team lost this week. Um, so, wow. That's 2 weeks in a row with major upsets. Um, so that's the week that was. So, congratulations to the victors. And the playoff picture looks pretty well shaken out all of a sudden. You're going to get 3 guys out of Trump Town, more than likely going to be Bison, Spencer, and Caitlyn Jenner, unless Donald Trump can pull some miracles out. And then you're going to get one person out of Bidenville, more than likely 22 Dream Team. Unless, again, some crazy stuff happens and by miraculous intervention, I happen to win, which isn't going to happen. And then the 2 teams out of the Libertarian Shanty are more than likely going to be Blue Team and Foosball. So, congratulations to you 6. It's looking pretty likely that you will be representing um, the best of the best in the championship playoffs. And then for the other 6 owners, there's always the trash bowl, toilet bowl, whatever. Nailbender never officially named it as far as I'm concerned. He never came up with a fancy name. I'll reach out to him, see if he has one. But yeah, so a lot of, well, everything that's left is interdivision matchups. Um, so very important last 2 weeks as far as seeding is concerned. Donald Trump can still get himself into the playoff hunt, I believe. I don't know. I'm not looking at the division standings right now. But as far as seeding is concerned, a lot of these interdivision matchups are going to determine who sits at the top and who sits at the bottom. Um, so put your lineups in, do your best, make it happen. Um, and then again, Um, Thank you so much for being a part of the deplorable ones this season. It really does mean a lot to me. I've already explained it a whole bunch. I'm feeling a little sappy. I just had my birthday um, earlier this week, 29, which is probably young to some of you and old to others. But yeah, I've had some things happen recently. Some information that's come out amongst some friends and some family that just kind of reminds you uh, how quickly things can fall apart and how fragile relationships and life in general can be. Um, you never know. Uh, you never know when could possibly be the last time you talk to someone for whatever reason. And so I just think it's important for me specifically to go on record and just let all of you know how much I appreciate you guys and how much I appreciate this league. So thank you so much. Yeah, good luck, have fun, and get on the message boards. If you're already on there, keep doing it. And if you're not, just do it. Like, for instance, last thing, and then I'll log off, but Joe Crutel. So he reaches out to me to have him reverse his idiotic move that he made in error. And then he says, tell Donald Trump, fuck you. And I'm like, dude, you say it. You tell him fuck you. There's a message board. You can get on there right now and you can tell him. And he never did. Like, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. Don't be shy. You told me, Joe. You told me when I invited you into this league that you were a crap talker. You were a shit talker and that you love to get into people's faces and tell them how much they suck. And you have done none of it. You haven't even reached out once. You lied to me. That's how I feel. You lied to me. And I don't appreciate that. We're doing prayer. Heavenly Father, please. Anyway, we're doing player evaluations. I said it in the preseason. We are constantly watching owners. We are constantly seeing who's doing what, who's making moves, who's moving up, who's moving down, who's engaged and who's not. Constantly. And we're reaching the point in the season where we're going to start tallying it all up and we're going to start discussing it between me and Donald Trump. And there are some of you that, I mean, above and beyond our expectations, or right at where you were last season, and it's awesome and it's great and we love that. And then there are others of you that have really disappointed. Um, I don't know if you guys are keeping a tally, but we've had upwards of 8 weeks in a row where at least one person has violated the rules. 8 weeks in a row. And that's unacceptable. And we know who they are, and we know how many times they've done it, and that matters. So, again, if you're going to commit to something, if you're going to say, yes, I'll do it, then do it all. 100%. You're either in or you're out. You're either 100% engaged or you might as well just not even do it. So, I will always push for more interaction because, again, this is a primary source of interaction for me by choice. Um, so I know I'm going to get let down, but whatever. I'm still going to push for it. I'm going to hold everybody to the highest of expectations because that's what you should want. You as an individual in any form of life, whether it's professionally or in your family or amongst your friends, you should want and expect people to hold you to a high standard because you yourself should hold yourself to a high standard. And so when people dip below that standard, It's inexcusable. It should never happen. It should not be something that happens, especially with the regularity that it has happened so far this season. Um, so yeah, that's the end of that rant. Um, I appreciate you. Get on the message boards and let's finish the season out stronger than we started it. Panned out.